Hello and welcome back to Tsumihoroboshi, chapter 6 or 7. I literally see it like when I load in, but I forgot. It's a good day to be recording Higurashi. It's a little later than I usually record, but I had a great night. I usually get like picked up from work, so traveling back was a little bit annoying, but the last 10 minutes, dude, it really makes me appreciate my area where I live. Like, it's all misty with just the headlights, so it feels really cool. And I'm next to like a park, so I can hear crickets and frogs. It's actually like the best spot I've had in months. If I had to like, if I could walk the whole way and experience that, I would. But it was great. I'm like totally refreshed, so I'm good to go. Um, what happened last time? Watanashi Festival happened, but instead of seeing it from any of the club members' perspectives, we saw it from Oishi's. Good tech. It looks like he didn't recognize who Rena was, so which you feel like he might have. Well, obviously it's different circumstances, but I really feel like he would have if it was on Takushi Owushi, unless maybe he was. I don't know if he was bullshitting the whole thing, but maybe he wasn't like there. I don't know. Um, but yeah, we got that. We're getting like. I'm really surprised about this meta world stuff. I wasn't really expecting it here, but I guess it's a good place since I guess guessing about the meta world isn't as like big as the actual mysteries. To me, it seems like it's heading into some sort of looping directions, whether it's like looping on a in a linear sense, which probably not, because that's the super confusing version, or if they're just in like a time loop. Because what I mean by a linear sense of looping, well, I guess there's two ways. There's the linear sense of looping where time in Hinamizawa is looping, but like the rest of the world's going on. Obviously, that can't be done without some serious magic or some serious government cover ups. But that one seems the most unlikely. Like the other linear looping is, which I guess actually isn't bad. It's actually probably closer. Never mind. I was mixing the two up. But yeah, it's like, oh, but linear looping. I mean like instead of it happening like in my multiversal thing, like everything's happening like simultaneously. That's why there's some universes are affecting the others. That's why some weird stuff. That's why some characters say that they felt like they've entered a whole new Hinamizawa sort of thing. Which could be another thing. You can combine a lot of the stuff, some layered looping realities. Um, but like linear in a sense that instead of it being simultaneous, like Takushi happened first, then Watanabe, then Totoro, and it's actually happening in a linear sense rather than it being like all stacked on each other. Um, which could be a possibility too. I mean, it kind of goes with how Keiichi's saying like he remembered Totoro, which I mean it could still work in a sense, but I don't know. It's some confusing stuff, and we know that maybe Keiichi's kind of becoming self-aware of the possible meta world, while someone definitely knows about it. I assumed it was Oishi. I was totally wrong. I was just misreading it. I mean, my first guess is it was like Rika peeking at them, but I don't know. Obviously, they didn't show the voice good. I don't really know anyone else possible. Don't think any of the club members, unless Irie or Takano might, if they are the masterminds. But I'm pretty sure Oishi is cleared for being self-aware at least, because he definitely didn't seem that way from his thoughts. And like I said, I want to trust people's thoughts that they're not lies, because they're thinking they wouldn't be like, who are they lying to themselves? I mean, that's the thing. So yeah, before we get into this though, little rant. If you're not interested, because it has nothing to do with Higurashi, then you can just like the little preview thing on the bar. You can just click it. Just a small rant, okay. It's just something I wanted to talk about because yesterday I was trying to record, but I got bad vibes and I didn't do it. and maybe it was a good thing. I actually did have a good sesh on recording some stuff for a October bonus month thing, but yeah, basically, I think it was like the first time I've had, I love comments. I love everybody. I think it's very fun, interactive, probably the most satisfying thing as a extremely small content creator. I love the lurkers too. Obviously, lurkers are always going to be the majority. If you don't want to comment, no pressure. I appreciate all of you. But I think yesterday was my first like bad experience with a comment in a while at least, and it wasn't even that bad of a comment. Like looking back to it now, it doesn't even read that bad, but for some reason it just hit me in the nerves so hard. So I didn't really want to bring that bad energy to like a recording session for Higurashi last night, even though I'm like 100% sure I would have gotten over it in like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, basically it was a Fran Bow comment, so it's the rare Fran Bow comment, which made me pretty happy since it's cool to see stuff on smaller playthroughs. But I guess you can't really explain it without any reference to it. So I'm pretty sure it's in reference to me saying that puzzles aren't my strong suit, which is true. I'm pretty bad at puzzles. If you watch Fanboy, you would know that, or if you're going to watch Aoani, you will know that I'm small-brained when it comes to puzzles for whatever reason. I want to get better, but I think it's a long process. It's either that or to math, because I think I was doing a math puzzle in that episode. I didn't really look through it, but I actually have the comment pulled up. For maximum accuracy, don't want to misrepresent, by Johnny433. I replied to my header comment, spelling isn't your strong suit either, huh? Still nice playthrough though. See, it's such a mild comment. It's not hitting you too hard. It's not like really dissing. At most, it's a backhanded compliment or a less insulting insult, but for some reason it just hit me well where it hurts. And again, I even said puzzles or math isn't my strong suit, but for some reason, I don't know, it's just like when I read this, I'm just wondering what was the like intent of the commenter. Like, was it, because it definitely, I don't personally feel like it was a compliment at all, even though he said nice playthrough. Because why would you add an insult before the compliment? It just confused me, and I don't know. It hit a nerve. It just, like, again, maybe it's just a snarky comment for memeing it up on the first part, but for me it just feels really sarcastic. With the huh, spelling isn't your strong suit either, huh, with the question mark. Still nice playthrough though. Like adding the still, it's so weird. It's so weird to me. I just don't understand, and it really bummed me out. But yeah, I don't know. And again, I really do have a good time with comments. This is from some guy who I don't think is subbed, or maybe is. I don't mind if you are subbed. The only other bad time I've had like in the comments was a long time ago. In like, I don't know if most of my regulars were back there back then, but it was back in the early Higurashi days where I was doing the devil's advocate stuff with I don't even remember his name since it's been so long, but it was a good time. He would comment on my theories, playing as a, it's sort of how some people do it now still, basically just like contradicting them but not like spoiling them, like sort of like that, I guess. And like, I don't know, like when we were having a dialogue and watching Higurashi, it felt like something weird was going on. Like maybe he was getting more personal. Because I'll be honest, my theories aren't the best. They still aren't. But they were pretty bad in Honor Takashi. I think watching Higurashi is where I started to get the hang of it. But I remember him saying like he was commenting on lack of evidence. It was probably the formatting too, because I have like an evidence subheading, which really didn't help my case when a lot of it was just circumstantial or interpretations. But he was like, you know, deep down inside, you know, these theories aren't strong and they're weak, and you're just trying to cover it up. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's so weird. Why would you say that? So like in my response, I I was pretty sassy back to him, and then he just never commented again, and it was pretty sad because I kind of regret it. I think he was a very fun commenter. He really reminded me of sort of a mix of two commenters I really see a lot, so I try to be like super nice to commenters now because, you know, maybe it's just, maybe they didn't intend for it, it's just not their day. But yeah, basically more of the story is I didn't like that comment, but Johnny, if you are subbed and if you do watch Higurashi, then you know, we can move past that. But I just needed to go through that a bit. And I just want to thank all the commenters. It's fun to see this really small community, and I'm starting to recognize you. I'm starting to remember people. Like when I see someone has commented with the notification, you know, I expect something. You know, I see a Natar. Sorry, my pronunciation of all names are gonna be horrible. You know, I expect a good comment with some great meme energy sometimes. Val Hunter, I expect a nice long dialogue. Pretty sure you comment as you watch the video because of how long it is, which is cool. It's always fun responding to it. When I see Fawful commented, I'm like, oh man, there's gonna be like 3 different comments on different videos. Use the rapid fire one. Thank you. I enjoy reading them, and it also adds to the algorithm. Anyone else off the top of my head? Matthias, cool name. I actually don't know. You don't really have like something that I expect when you comment, but you're a cool guy. It's a great name. I don't know if that's your real name, but it's a good name. Oh, oh no, I actually have to look. I don't want to miss you, sir. Also all the bots, good bots. At least for the bot saga on the channel, like when we were at 50, was pretty terrible. Now the bots, less bots, and now they're all like porn bots, so it's not as bad. I mean, it's bad if you click them, just don't click them, all right? Oh man, I should shout you out. King Cobra. I don't know why I didn't remember your name. You're the tips and tricks man. Whenever I see you reply, I'm like, this guy's gonna give me good advice or some good tips, new tech. So I really appreciate you. I don't even know if you watch Higurashi anymore. Maybe, but you're like the guy who usually comments on like non-Higurashi stuff. So it's good to see you. Also, oh yeah, yo, that's you. I think I could put you in the super regular, you know, short sweet. You have the god tier, the god tier comment that will never be forgotten on this channel. The Shion one from Mayadashi. It's actually a classic. But yeah, if I missed you, then it's not because I don't appreciate you. It's just because I don't remember. You know, keep up those comments, and then I'll eventually remember you. But that was a pretty long rant. Yeah, just showing some appreciation and getting my opinions on that bad vibes out of there, but they have been cleansed. So yeah, let's just get into this. Might be a longer video now, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm in a good mood. Glad I got that off my chest. Yeah, okay. Anything else I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about like Higurashi before I went to the rant, just in case people aren't interested in that. No. Yeah, it was pretty much just the looping stuff that taught me, you know, Owishi's interrogating Rena. I feel like Rena's gonna act much differently than Keiichi though. So, let's see. First of all, I wasn't very close to Mio-san. I knew who she was, so I greeted her whenever we happened to pass by. But that was about it. I never really talked to her except for the one time. Really? So no interactions before watching Higurashi for Rena, huh? And that time was only recently. It was between the day of the Watchin' Higurashi festival and the day I was caught in the act of burying the 2 corpses by Keiichi-kun and my other friends. Why did she say it like that? That's like weird. She went like present or future to past, but yeah, in that time period. So before the Higurashi festival, we had one tall. Or talk, but maybe it is a call because of this. I had a phone call from the library that evening, and I was told that my father needed to return the book he borrowed. He was shopping at the home improvement store at the time, so I went to the library to return the book for him. And it's pretty interesting, actually, that Rena hasn't really taught to Takano, because I did compare them about how they kind of get a little creepy with the Hinamizawa mythos, so interesting. I think they would. Again, this Rena in this arc isn't being really creepy with Oyashiro, but you think they would get along in other arcs with their same hobbies and obsessions. While I was there, I thought about borrowing some books for myself, and I started walking around the library. I saw her there. Nice. Mio looking fresh as always. Never. We didn't have a different uniform costume for her though. But I guess we didn't have for a lot. We haven't seen. I mean, I want alternatives. Obviously give the main character some treatments. We got that blessed Mion Sprite semi recently, but Takano a new pair of clothes. Chia needs some. Oishi even. I'm surprised Oishi doesn't have like casual clothes. Anyways, what's up, Takano? You're already dead. You weren't interactable at all. I really feel like it's gonna be the next arc or the one after that. I don't know if the 8th arc's gonna be a meme arc like it was in Umineko, but so maybe 7th arc. I mean, it made sense if it's more connected to Tsumihoroboshi. That might be a hidden train. For once I don't have my windows open. I'm gonna try to keep it when it's not too hot. I do like the sound of the crickets, but it's not like I even hear it with the headphones. It's just comforting to me.
So? 私にとってみれば、あなたが図書館にいることの方が珍しいんだけどね。
Yep, that's proven in Mayatashi. She likes the library. Have we ever been to the library as Keiichi? Just in case she might have been spying on us. I think in Higurashi we went there once, but it's not a place we usually head to. But I don't know, if she's lurking in the library, she might have like spotted us and were spying on us, but I really don't remember it too much. Oh man, I kept double clicking the mute button by accident, sorry. She smiled in the very attractive and charming way that only mature women can do. It's a nice smile. Her smile gave no indication that she knew her death was just a few days away. Or did she? 'Cause she's self-aware. She said that she often met with Tomodachi-san at the library. Actually, it's not a bad take for it to be Takano. Nah, never mind. It could have just been her. I used the bicycle evidence. Yeah, we got the bicycle evidence. Like, we didn't have any info about the bicycle, but the bicycle has been moved from the body. So either Takano ran away, Tomodachi ran away from it, from the culprits. But we know in Tsumihoroboshi, Takano actually had the bicycle in her car and was driving it somewhere. So that this could have been like a big brain play by Takano to like lead suspicion over there and hide something else. So, and then Takano's a prime suspect, even though she's dead. But you guys should know my burnt Takano theory, crispy Takano theory by now. Yeah, I don't hate Takano killing Tomodachi. It seemed like she had some time to kill, so she told me she wanted to buy me a drink. Nice. I had nothing to do after that. I let her buy me a canned iced milk tea from the vending machine in the library, and we talked for a while. I mean, this probably gonna get our Takano talk. There's always a Takano talk in every arc about some mythos, some history. Once I came to think about it, it was a little ironic. She mostly talked about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Man, it's like you suspect Tatano so much, but what if Tatano is actually just the big red herring? It doesn't make sense though, because we were talking to her after she died, unless that's some multi-layered reality stuff. But it's like, I don't feel like there's actually any malice in her words. It feels like she just really wants to talk about this stuff, but I mean, I guess Tsumihoroboshi directly disproves that, so never mind. I don't know. I like Tatano. Too bad she died. Ned Stark, it will be yours, Tatano, maybe. I don't know. You might be the cover girl. I haven't really checked the cover girl stuff since the beginning of the playthrough. But, cover girl, cover character. Gotta save the immersion.
あら、聞いたことくらいあるでしょ。4年前にはダムの現場監督、3年前には北条夫妻、2年前には古出夫妻、そして去年は聡子ちゃんのおばが犠牲になったひなみ沢村連続開始事件よ。それがあと何日かで5年目を迎えるじゃない。
一応私もそういう物騒な名前で呼ばれていることは知ってますけど。
It's actually gonna be cool to get Rena's perspective of Tatano just because of how sharp Rena can be. Maybe she can sniff out something from Tatano that nobody else could.
でも5年目も起こると決まったわけじゃ。
起こるわよ。絶対にね。2度あることは3度あるってことわざがあるけど、4度あることは5度あるって方がもっと確率は高いとは思わない？
Unlucky. Mio-san was convinced that the fifth mysterious death was going to happen, but she didn't know she was going to be the fifth victim. Or did she? Well, Irie didn't know, so... That's ironic and also really creepy. But there was always something creepy about her. So maybe she knew that she was going to be killed in a few days, but still managed to make that mysterious smile. Ah. The series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Of course, I know about it. I've lived here for more than a year. Every year, on the day of the Wachinadashi festival, one traitor to the village dies mysteriously. It's been that way since the dam conflict. Each case was solved individually, but the mysterious incidents still happen every year. It makes me wonder if there's some kind of will to all of this. The creepiness and incomprehensibility of it all gave rise to the name The Curse of Oyasho-sama, which fits perfectly. Despite this, I always thought The Curse of Oyasho-sama was just a series of coincidences. My reason for that is because I strongly believe that Satoshi-kun was the one who murdered his aunt on the 4th year. I don't have any evidence, but I just know it. I know that Satoshi-kun was in a serious predicament last year and that he had nowhere to turn. He had no one to help him, but he had to save Satoko-chan as soon as he could. Satoshi-kun thought it through and made the best choice he could handle the situation, just like they did when I had the problem with Rina. I just wanted to be Satoshi-kun not doing it, just to be the biggest surprise, because I'm like 99% sure he did it too. I find it very hard to imagine him not doing it. I hesitated to inform Mio-san that Satoshi-kun was the murderer on the 4th year, so I just listened to her for a while. According to her theory, the series of mysterious deaths isn't just a set of coincidences, but is instead a series of interrelated murder cases. At that point, my theory was completely the opposite of hers, but I decided not to cut in. I mean, the mastermind, but he doesn't personally do it, because that would be dumb. He manipulates people, he or she. Oishi, Irie, Tatano. If it's not one of those three, if there is a mastermind, and it's not one of those three, I will be so surprised. Like, literally, like there's literally, like, no one else, right? It literally has to be, like, some meme, like Chia, or I don't know, Mion's mom or whatever. I don't know, dude. Has to be those three. One of them.
お社様信仰は知ってるわよね。
The cult of Oyasho-sama. That was brought up in Maetashi. Like, there could be a cult doing this stuff. But, like, it's funny because, like, who would the cult be? It would be Tatano and Rena in it because they're the most obsessed. Tatano started telling me that Hinamizawa was once called Anidafuchi. She also explained the story of how the villagers were in the old days, showing me the scrapbook she was so proud of. The villagers back then were called man-eating demons, but they were also admired as transcendents, enlightened people not bound by earthly desires.
つまりミオさんの説によるならば、連続開始事件はお社様を崇拝する信心深い団体がひなみ沢に潜んでいて、お社様の力を世に示そうとしている
It really
と
isn't
いう
a
ことなんですか？
it's not a bad theory, but the only, like, I kind of like it low key, but the only thing is when I think of this theory, the only people who really fit is Rena and Tatano, and it's more like it's like 80% more fits for Tatano. I don't know who else would be in this cult, like Owishi, like Tomataki, Ire. It just feels like a Tatano thing, but who knows? That's the spooky thing about a cult. Sometimes you know the members should just be normal people. What if it's Tatano as leader and Satoko as the Grand Master? No, I don't know.
信心深いという
It's
か
a meme.
原理主義的というか
I'm joking,
紙一重だけどね。
but I don't hate that as a huge motivation. At least like a giant motivation. Maybe not for the murders, but for the mastermind thing. Like if Tatano was the mastermind thing, I always thought she was doing it to further her research or try to connect with Oyasho-sama or whatever. But yeah, it goes from person to person. Like Owishi, it doesn't really fit this motive at all. Ire doesn't even have a motive right now. He's just freaking, he susses me out.
明治以降、村の名前がひなみ沢に変わって以来、鬼ヶ淵村が長く続けてきたさまざまな風習が途絶えている。それをよみがえらせ、再び鬼ヶ淵村の名と威風を取り戻そうと思っている人たちがいるんじゃないかしら。
Okay, so you all know how I think Shion could have killed Rina into Todoroshi like very easily. It was kind of contradicted a little bit by Val Hunter, but I think my response was pretty good. Like all the points he made, I felt like it doesn't really matter in Shion's case too much. You can check that out in one of the earlier episodes. I don't know. But I mean, this is decent for like, again, cult stuff. I'm just putting Tatano in. If it turns out to be Chia with Tomita and Okamura, then you know, I'm sorry. But I mean, that's again maybe Rina. It doesn't have to be Tatano. Whatever. Cult people killed Rina and did the ritual stuff on her just to you know, regain the name and awe of Anidafuchi. There you go. Secondary stuff to the Rina's death in Todoroshi. Mio-san's theory was more than a little crazy, but it was also fascinating. At first, her theory had sounded like she was just jumping to conclusions, but after she eagerly showed me the documents she's been studying, I started to think that it wasn't actually too far from the truth. If her theory was true, it would mean that the accidental deaths of the Hojo couple in the second year, the suicide and death by disease of the Furude couple in the third year, and the drug addict murderer in the fourth year were all cooked up. It means someone who has a lot of power and influence over the police was involved. When I pointed that out, Mio-san nodded in agreement, and she started talking about how strongly they were rooted in the village and how deeply they were involved with many public organizations. Well, now she's just referring to the Sonozakis, but I mean, if you trust Mion's statement, where she said, or you had no idea what the heck was going on. And then you can't fully trust it because it was just Mion telling you what Oryu said to her, which isn't like foolproof because Oryu could have been lying to Mion. But I really want to believe it doesn't come from the head of the Sonozakis. It could be someone. It could be, Kasai could have been the sleeper agent of the cult. But yeah, I don't know. Sonozakis are cleared for me, kind of. I don't hate the idea that they killed one or two, maybe, people in the curse murders, but I don't think they're the big dogs in the whole picture. After she finished explaining all that, I finally noticed that Mio-san was suggesting that the three families, including the Sonozaki family, were the masterminds behind the murder incidents. This is where I don't get behind. If you had to choose one, it would honestly be Rika, but I don't think she's the mastermind at all. You know what? The Kimiyoshi family would be a spicy twist. The true masterminds, Kimiyoshi family. But yeah, I don't love this anymore. In fact, the Sonozaki family really is very powerful. They hold influence not over Hinamisan, Otonomiya, but also over the entire Shishibone area. Oh man, my fingers are jumpy today. They don't pause enough. It might be wrong to say that they even hold influence over the entire prefecture. If the Sonozaki family is behind all of this, her theory would be more realistic. But that means I should be suspicious of Mi-chan. No, I shouldn't. But in fact, Mi-chan was very cold and unkind to Satoshi-kun when he was going through a tough time. Yeah, I do want to clear Mion. And it's not just because I'm a part of the Mion fan club. But I mean, when she is in her head, I don't know what you call it. I was trying to say head mode, but that sounds kind of weird. When she goes into her cold mode, I feel like she could kill someone, but who knows? I don't know. I know there was a conflict between the Sonozaki family and the Hojo family during the Dam Wars, but still, she was very cold to Satoshi-kun. But Mi-chan admitted that what she did was wrong. And I forgave her too. I didn't want to think about that again. I decided to change the subject because I knew it made me feel uncomfortable if we kept talking about the Sonozaki family.
そもそもお社様信仰って一体何なんでしょうね。
Or maybe, okay, remember when we were talking about the meta stuff? Maybe it's linear, but it doesn't have to be in the order we read. So, like, maybe this is all happening in a line, but, like, what if this is, like, the first, well, can't be. But, like, one of the ones we read it's not in chronological order. There's a bit of a mix-up, but I don't know, just maybe. Because Rena feels very, like, not... Yashiro mode, which is, again, just still keeps me on edge a bit.
鬼と人が共存というのも面白い話です。普通の昔話だったら鬼が来たら退治してやっつけるという風なのに。
そうね。そのあたりがお社様信仰の面白いところね。でもそもそも神の国から神が漂着してきて崇められるというのは決して珍しいことではないのよ。
Yo, what if Oyashiro-sama was an alien? Rita got the hive mind and I don't know. Okay, no. That's a little too funky.
漂着神崇拝って言ってね。世界中に海の向こうからあるいは川上から神が漂着してきて、それを人々が敬ったという類の神話が残されているわ。
I guess. Got your classic sea gods. You got your spicy Cthulhu's. But,
それ
yeah.
は偉人漂着の話でしょうか。
Sometimes, probably. Not all the time.
そういう捉え方も一般的ね。古代日本は 大陸に比べると様々な文化が遅れていた。
That's true.
だから進んだ文化を持った異国人が漂着した結果、その知識を敬い
Oyashiro-sama was a
と
foreigner.
いうのはありえなくもない話よね。
Oh
そうい
man.
えば日本に伝わる赤鬼や青鬼もナンパして漂着
That's
した異国
true.
人のことを指すのではないかという説がありましたね。
I low-key forgot the story about Tateno really went into it in Watanadoshi. It's been so long though. I do remember that now. I guess it's kind of silly I said that, but
天狗
whatever.
のいわゆる真っ赤で鼻が異様に高い顔も欧米人を見慣れない古代の人々が作り上げたのかもしれないし。
あら、レナちゃんもなかなか鋭い見方ができるわね。
Super sharp.
それには私も同感よ。大方の漂着心信仰の原点は私も異人漂着にあると思うわ。でもそうだとすると鬼ヶ淵村の鬼が現れたとする漂着心信仰にはちょっと不思議な点がある。わかるかしら？
わからないです。
I don't either. What is it,
簡
Tateno?
単よ。
Hit me with it.
鬼ヶ淵村には海がない。
True.
確かに。
異人漂着なら外の世界とつながる接点が欠かせないはずよ。
True, 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 true. But I mean, couldn't they just walked in?
欧米なら異国に通じる川。
I mean, it doesn't literally need to be a drifting dot. What if it's just like some foreigners exploring in the middle of Japan? It's hard to actually believe, but it's a possibility.
日本なら世界に接する海。だから日本における漂着心崇拝もそのほとんどは沿岸部に集中するわね。
鬼ヶ淵村以外に漂着し、そこから旅をしてここまでやってきた可能性はありませんか？
That's my take. What we got Tateno?
ところがお社様信仰の決定的なところは
He rose from the swamp? I don't remember.
鬼が漂着した場所を
Mm.
鬼ヶ淵沼とはっきり特定している点なの。
So obviously, the foreigners didn't come from the swamp, because it's a swamp unless there's a hidden passage in the swamp. Who knows? Dude, who knows? Maybe that's why they can't find anything, because someone keeps dumping them and someone else takes them through the hidden passage. Would it be the first time there's a hidden passage in a When They Cry story, huh?
鬼ヶ淵
I
沼には
mean,
何も流れ着かない。
this is good to suspect. Like legit, if there's gonna be a hidden passage, you know, give it to the swamp.
そんなところになぜどこから漂着したのか。実はこの辺にお社様信仰の謎を探る面白さがあるのよ。
Hmm.
お社様の伝説はどの程度知ってるかしら？
I know a little bit. Rena probably knows a bit more than me. You know, I went through the 4 other Tateno scenes with this. It's good tots. I enjoy it. It's the most time we get with Tateno per arc.
学校に置いてある絵本で読んだ程度です。
Nice. I feel like I know a lot about it, but I actually don't. Well, you know that. Well, you think you've interacted with Oyasho-sama. I'm sure Tateno would be really interested in that, but you probably don't share that with her. I just have an extreme fear of the rule not to leave Hinamizawa. That could be it too, maybe. Oh no. Yeah, maybe that explains it. That she just really doesn't want people to think about leaving Hinamizawa. It just seems so weird to me. I'm not writing it off. Just possibility for you, misunderstanding theorists. After all, my life went wrong after I left. I felt dizzy when I tried to think about it further, so I stopped. Doesn't want you to remember the incident, huh? When everything went wrong in Ibaraki, I met Oyashiro-sama and he told me to go back to Hinamizawa. No. I'll get dizzy. Don't try to remember. Don't try to remember. I can't remember. I got desperate because I felt responsible for the divorce. I just used Oyashiro-sama as an excuse for my mental instability, and I told my father I wanted to go back to Hinamizawa, right? But wait, Oyashiro-sama did come to me. Oh no, the colors are too dazzling. You sure it was Oyashiro-sama, not Oishi interviewing you? Telling you to go back to Hinamizawa, and you were so high on drugs you just thought it was Oyashiro-sama? Yo, I'm on fire tonight. Making up for Val Hunter pointing out that I missed a spicy curry theory. Oh, that was so good. I would just say it just in case people missed it. And in when Rina went to buy curry with the father, like expensive curry, you know, connecting that to Chia. I totally missed the opportunity. It hurts. It hurts my soul. So I'll give you some spice ones when I can. I'm super dialed in this session, which is a good thing. I can only remember the vivid colors of the pills and the dizziness.
それだけ知ってれば十分よ。鬼が淵より鬼が湧き出し、それを見かねた
Didn't mean to skip it.
鬼たちを
I'm sorry, Takano. Your voice is always a treat. I love it. I love it.
鬼たちは地獄を追放され、行き場がない
It's actually goated. It's very popular voice actress. Though obviously, I mostly know her from Mumineto, but she definitely has the experience.
それで村人たちは鬼たちを気の毒に思って村に住まわせてあげようと決めた。そしてお社様は村人たちの心に感銘を受け、鬼たちに人の姿を与え、村に共存させたという。その血は次第に交わり、村人たちに溶け込んでいった。
そうです。そういう話だったと思います。
I felt dizzy, like I was going to faint because I touched the one memory I didn't want to.
神話の多くは古代の何らかの事実を原型にしていると言われることが多いんだけど。
Maybe that memory is fuzzy because it's the memory of her beating her friends, and maybe it's fuzzy because she just made like strong bonds with her friends, and in the past we don't know how strong the bonds with her old friends were, but maybe they were kind of strong, and then she still like beat them up anyways for whatever reason.
レナちゃんはこの神話から何を読み取れるかしら?
Because I was still feeling dizzy, all I had to do was tilt my head quizzically. It seemed like Mio was expecting that response, but because she smiled, looking satisfied that she had successfully made me confused, she took a scrapbook out of her paper bag.
これ、
Damn.
レナちゃんに貸してあげるわ。
Lending it to Shion, lending it to Rena. Maybe this has a secret hypnosis message in it. I don't know. I feel like Tatsuno's really a decent suspect for the mastermind theory. Definitely more than Ire, but I still kind of like Oishi a little bit more. I don't know. I forgot to mute. There you go. Cough. Cough, cough. I'm not sick. I think I just ate my dinner a little weird. Trying to rush it a bit.
暇な夜長にでも思い出したら読んでくれれば結構。レナちゃんは鋭いところがあるみたいだから、それを読んだ上で今度じっくり議論を交わしたいわね。
I like the little croak at the end of her sentences.
私も肯定的であれ、敵対的であれ、議論の相手がいなくて寂しいのよ。二郎さん、こういうのにはさっぱり興味のない人だし。
I had little choice but to take the scrapbook. Apparently, Mio-san came to the library often, so I figured I could return it to her whenever I came to return my books. However, the day I returned the scrapbook to Mio-san never came.
どうしたの? さっきからうつろね。体調悪いの?
あ、ちょっと夏風邪気味で、まだ病み上がりなんです。
It wasn't the summer cold that was making me feel dizzy. I always get dizzy when I try to remember the time I met Oyashiro-sama in Ibaraki. I mustered all my courage and asked her. My memory of those days in Ibaraki is blurry. I know I met Oyashiro-sama. Nobody believed me and they told me that it was a hallucination. But I thought Mio-san would listen to me.
Mio-san.
Uh-oh, this might be a spicy combo.
今度は私の話を聞いてもらってもいいですか？
いいわよ。聞いてもらったお返しに今度は私が聞くわ。
いえ、お社様の話なんです。笑われないかとても不安です。
笑わないわ
I feel
よ。
like she's the last person who would laugh at it.
あなたも私の話を笑わなかったもの。
Mio-san said it in a very gentle and mature way, and that encouraged me. Even so, I still hesitated to talk, but there was probably nobody but Mio-san with whom I could talk about something like this. I gathered my courage again and spoke.
私、お社様に会ったことがあるんです。
本当に？
はい。私、小学校に上がる前まではひなみ沢に住んでいたんです。それが母の仕事の関係で茨城に引っ越したんです。この意味はわかりますよね。
わかるわよ。
Cursed.
ひなみ沢を離れてはならないというお社様の禁忌に触れたということね。
そうです。それでいろいろ悪いことが起こって母が離婚し、家庭はぐちゃぐちゃになりました。私も自暴自棄になって悪いことをしたりしました。
辛いこともあったのね。それで？
世の中の何もかもが嫌になって、自分以外の幸せな人たち全部が私を見下しているように感じた最後の頃。
That could be a reason why she hit her friends, huh?
不思議な存在が現れるようになったんです。
それがお社様？
初めて現れたのは内緒ですよ。全部嫌になって自分を壊してしまいたいと思って、体に刃物を突きつけたことがあったんです。
It's a little... That sucks.
その時首をカミソリで切りつけたら
Oh man, that's even
血に混
worse.
じってブクブクと汚らしい何かが溢れ出したんです。それは
What is this? What is happening?
バカにしないわよ。
What came out? What the heck?
続けて。
This is getting weird. The chill I felt that time came back to me. I sealed the memory away so that I wouldn't have to remember it ever again. But once I unsealed it, I started remembering things one after another. Yes, but then there's something in the blood. Something crawling.
赤黒い
Ew.
無数の何か。
What the heck?
それらは首から血がこぼれるのと一緒にわらわらと湧き出してきました。
This is some serious bad vibes.
しかもそいつらは外へ溢れまいと傷口から再び中へ戻っていこうとわらわら
Ew.
わらわらって。私そんな気持ち悪いのに体内に戻られたくなくて
Oh my god.
書きました。
Why did
首の傷を引っかいてほじくり出そうとしました。
Why did this take me so long to realize what this was getting at? Huh? So that's the symptoms that people were probably feeling before they clawed out. That's why they clawed out their throats. I guess that's what made them claw their throats. So what? But we still need to know how or why that was happening. That's extremely gross. I love it though.
でもそれ以上は痛くて血まみれになるばかりで、それで私は急に怖くなりました。 私の体の中には血管いっぱいにあの気持ち悪いのがぎっしり詰まってる
Isn't
んじゃ
it
ない
weird
で
that
す
she was also on drugs back then? And were those the drugs in the needle thing? Oh my god, it's eerie.
それで私は試しにカミソリで股の血管を開いてみました。そしたら溢れてきたんです。
Oh
ドバッと
god.
わらわらっと。
I understand Ryuko-san, so please calm down.
分かってないってば。そいつらは血と一緒にドバッと溢れ出すけど、すぐに元の血管の中に戻ろうとする。それがとてもかゆいんです。
Please bring a doctor. No, don't claw at it like that. Bring me a sedative. Hurry. Hold her down.
私の血管の中のやつをやっつけて、血を全部抜いてきれいにして。私の血管には変なのがいっぱい詰まってるの。どうして信じないの？見せてあげるから。見れば信じるでしょ。注射は嫌。いや。
落ち着いて。
Oh no. Shots. Oh my god. Wait. This is too much to take in. What if, like, the shots... Oh, yo. Okay, what if... I don't know about the Maggots. Let's say, like, hypothetically they were inside, and maybe the shots weren't a bad thing, but they were actually, like, to calm down whatever was happening in you. They're actually, like, an antidote. So, like, maybe Rita wasn't trying to assassinate Shion. Maybe when people are going crazy, these maggot things or whatever the symptoms for the maggot starts happening, and you need the shot to calm them down. And that's why Keiichi clawed out his throat at the end, because he was in full craziness. That's why Shion clawed her throat at the end of the bad ending, because she like outright like stabbed Keiichi. Like there's no question, she actually stabbed Keiichi like in front of Mion. Like, that's why people claw their throats out. But no, that doesn't make sense, because wait, never mind, I might have just screwed that up, because Rita clawed out her throat after being injected. I don't know, man. Maybe that's... Oh my god. It could be supernatural, but if you want to do, like... It really helps with the I don't know. I don't have a name for it. Like, with the footstep stuff, how I said, like, it's either supernatural, more likely supernatural, or it could be, like, some weird brand of paranoia that only happens after events of Hinamizawa. So maybe it can go into that. I don't know. This is some good tech. This is definitely a scene to remember. Mio-san sat next to me and held my hands tightly. Her touch brought me back to reality.
それでどうしたの？
そんな誰も私のことを信じてくれないときにお社様が
It's male. Confirmed? So it's not the girl Rita was talking to? Didn't really think it was, but there you go. But I swear it's gonna be Oishi or Irie, one of those two. Come on, hit me with it. The memory was very vague, and I saw flickering lights. It made it difficult for me to remember. I met Oyashiro-sama. That sentence is all I remembered. The memory of actually meeting Oyashiro-sama was unbelievably vague. After I got out of the hospital, I continued being treated at home. I still felt something moving in my veins, so I wanted to cut my body and make the blood ooze out so that I could make sure there were no maggots in there. Usually I was sleeping like the dead because of the strong pills I was taking. But one day I forgot to take the pills and my consciousness was very clear. I felt the maggots moving in my veins, and I felt the urge to look inside. I touched a vein on my wrist. I knew it. A lot of blood and many dusky red maggots came out from the wound. I wanted to wash them off before they crawled back inside me, so I put my wrist under running water in the bathroom sink and I tried to open the vein. Water, blood, and maggots ran down into the drain. Just like squeezing out the pus from a pimple, I squeezed the vein to get rid of the dirty blood and the maggots. I kept doing it. My arm started to feel numb and I felt cold, but I kept doing it. I thought I might die from losing too much blood, but I kept doing it. My body was filled with maggots. I had to squeeze all my blood out of me. And then a very bright light shone upon me. It was a very bizarre sensation. I had never experienced anything like it in my life. All of a sudden, the dark bathroom was filled with a bright light. It was very bright but gentle. It wasn't like the light from the merciless fluorescent bulb. It was very warm and gentle. That was Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama was looking at me with gentleness and sadness in his eyes. As he touched my wound, the maggots started melting and disappeared in front of my eyes. That wasn't all. All the maggots that were moving throughout my veins disappeared too. Oyashiro-sama taught me. These maggots were the curse. People of the demon's blood can't live outside of Hinamizawa. It's the rule. Unfortunately, you've been cursed. It's very sad and I feel sorry for you. There's only one way to save you. That's what he said. What should I do? The answer was very simple. All I needed to do was go back to Hinamizawa. I unconsciously knew that before I heard it from Oyashiro-sama. People who were born in Hinamizawa must never leave. But I broke Oyashiro-sama's rules and I left Hinamizawa. That's why my family was broken and I lost my mind. If I hadn't left Hinamizawa, nothing would have gone wrong. And so, I had to go back. Oyashiro-sama also told me this. He can make the maggots, the embodiment of the curse, disappear, but only temporarily because I live far from Hinamizawa. After a while, the power of Oyashiro-sama would fade away and the curse would start eating my body again. If that happened, the maggots would take over my body and I would go insane and die. I must go back to Hinamizawa before his power to hold down the curse faded away. That's what Oyashiro-sama told me. He did. I heard him tell me that. I should have gone back to Hinamizawa earlier. That's why Oyashiro-sama came to me to put his curse on me. But he gave me a chance. He gave me a chance to pay for my sins of leaving Hinamizawa. Dad, listen, Oyashiro-sama is going to help us. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. Hinamizawa is the place we must live. If you don't, not only me, but you might be cursed too. Let's go back to Hinamizawa. That's the only place where we can live. We need to hurry. We need to hurry or Oyashiro-sama's powers will fade away and my body will be eaten by the maggots. Oh no, Oyashiro-sama is following me. He's telling me to hurry. He follows me everywhere and keeps telling me to hurry. He keeps apologizing for putting his curse on me. Apologizing. Very cursed word here. He follows me everywhere and keeps apologizing. I'm telling you the truth. I am. Why can't anybody see it? Why can't they see the maggots or Oyashiro-sama? Everybody's trying to fool me. I know they can see them. Too. No, please stop. I don't want to get another shot. Ah. I was breathing hard, and Mio-san was holding my shoulder. I could feel that terrible memory I'd been trying to forget was awakening. The doctors told me that the memory was just my delusion. They told me that since I blamed myself for the divorce, I unconsciously had a desire to blame someone else for it, and I unconsciously connected the desire to the folk tale of Oyashiro-sama that I read when I was little. I got drug treatment, received counseling, and waited. I gradually got better, and that proved the things I saw were just a hallucination. The doctors asked my father to consider moving to Hinamizawa if possible. Sure they did. Irie? This was your plan all along. Fortunately, he wanted to change his living environment to heal his pain from the divorce as well. So we came back to Hinamizawa. After we came back to Hinamizawa, I felt it. I felt it in my bones that this was the place we should live. I also felt Oyashiro-sama's blessing. I definitely felt it. I felt the curse of Oyashiro-sama starting to break. I was free. After I moved here, I went to the clinic in Gordura for a while. The doctor gave me the same poisonous-looking pills, and I kept taking them for a while. The terrible memory gradually became unclear. Whenever I tried to remember it, I could only remember the strong side effect of the pills, and it made me dizzy. That's how I regained my peace. And then I changed my name, Reina. The reason was because my name reminded me of those bad memories. I didn't want to have anything itchy in my life anymore, that's why I came up with the idea of taking itchy things out. After I took I of itchy out from my name, Reina, there was only R-E and Na left. So this is actually a different story than when she changed her name, and because I thought she changed it because she hated her mom and hated the fact that her mom named her that or something. It's a little different. I don't know. That's how Rena was born. Or maybe I think she just told her mom not to call her that because she hated it, and then this is how she came up with the Rena after. I like that. When I was introduced to my classmates, I told them to call me Rena. Since then, that had been my name. I'm living my new life as Rena. I cut away all the sad things that happened when I was Reina. My father still calls me Reina, but I don't feel bad as long as it's just my father and my relatives. Well, Rena was telling us Reina, so it didn't help. But then Rena came into my life one day and she's called me Reina. Because she called me Reina, those colored lights started flickering again. I should stop. I should forget about it. The lights were still flickering. Guess we should get a close-up of Takuna for thumbnail city, just in case we need something. Judging by Mio-san's reaction, I wasn't panicking as badly as I thought. But I've probably had those panicked hallucinations several times. If I started screaming and yelling like I once did, they'd take me away to a hospital again for sure. Mio-san smiled, looking a little confused. I couldn't blame her. I didn't expect her to believe it. I'm sure it was just a strange memory I created myself in my hallucinations. I can't believe I can't trust myself. That's the worst feeling of all.
Rena-chan, まず一つ安心してほしいの。はい。レナちゃんが怖がっているたたり。つまり血の中にいたという変なもの。それはお社様が言うにはひなみ沢にいる限りは大丈夫なんでしょ？ええ、そう言ってました。なら怯えることはないじゃない。安心して。あなたは今ひなみ沢にいる。まあこの図書館は沖宮だけど、このくらいの距離ならお社様も許してくれるわね。
Yo, ready for something? What if this is like a government thing or an organization thing, and they aren't really in Hinamizawa? It's a replica to stir up these blood maggot, whatever curse things, and they're just testing it to see how they react in different situations. I know, that's terrible, but it's It's low key. Low, super low key. Not the worst thing I've ever thought of.
血管の内側に何かが騒いでいるなんて感じないでしょ。
それははい。
だから安心して。あなたは今お社様の戒律をちゃんと守ってる。だから何も恐れなくていいの。だってそうでしょね。
はい。はい。
I didn't know until then that she was such a warm-hearted person. She can play a bit of ball. She can be scary and nice. Though this is the nicest we've seen her, I'm pretty sure. Some good one-on-one with Takano, eh? I met many doctors and talked to them about this, but they always ignored me and didn't really listen. All they did was give me a shot of the drug I hated. On the other hand, Mio-san didn't deny my story or the existence of Oyashiro-sama. The people in this village whispered behind her back that she's a little crazy. But she was actually a very kind person. I thought.
レナちゃん、私は今の話
God, it spooked me. I don't even know what language this is. I think it's Polish or like Russian, something around then. It's just this bot. It's a bot, I'm sure. It's a bot that just like puts a random time in a video and then comments something. Like last time, it was actually hilarious. I think it was in a Doki Doki video, and she like highlighted this part and said it in a different language. So I Google translated before I clicked the part, and it was amazing in some language. I was like, okay, I'm sure it's a bot. It sounds like a bot, but what part did she highlight? I clicked on the part, and it's me saying sexual. I think I was talking about Yuri, so that just made me laugh. So that's a good bot. It's a rare bot. And it doesn't link anything. It just tells you to click on some part of a video. So good stuff. I'll let you be there. Actually, I mean, I shouldn't, but it was enough. It was enough for me to not hate it. Like the other bots were just like, hey, can we be YouTube friends? That was the worst wave of bots because it baited me once and it was embarrassing.
ありがとうございます。そう言ってくれた人は初めてかもです。
Nice. Friendship.
それは私も同じよ。
Friendship for like a week.
私の話をバカにしないでちゃんと聞いてくれた人はあなたが初めて。私たちいい友達になれそうね。
Wanna join my cult? Mio-san smiled, touching my head with hers. Oh, that's a cute scene. Where's the CG? I wanna see the head touching.
なら、私の秘蔵のファイルとスクラップを貸
Your
してあげるわね。
bonus files?
本当に本当の門外不出。
Rare files that not even Shion seen?
私以外の誰にも見せる気がなかったん
I
だ
don't
けど、
remember.
レナちゃんには特別に読ませてあげてもいい
I
かもしれない。
honestly don't remember if Shion got them or not.
あなたならバカにしないでちゃんと読んでくれそうな気がするし。
She took a few scrapbooks out of her paper bag and handed them to me. We're
ぜひ
loaded.
読んで感想を聞かせてね。
We're loaded.
あるいはひょっとするとレナちゃんにしかわからないことなのかもしれない。
Mio-san was acting mysteriously. She smiled mischievously and put her index finger on her lips as a sign to keep it a secret.
あとこのスクラップ帳と私がそういう研究しているのは内緒よ。
内緒ですか？はい、わかりました。
Bampa.
だってこんな研究をしているのが連中に知られたら
Don't feel bad for this, Rena. Who you telling? She laughed after she said that. They might erase her. That's what she said. And she went missing. She left me her scrapbooks. But that's not all there is to it. It's the way Tomotaki-san died. Yeah, made its thing. Oishi said he committed suicide because of the state of excitation caused by some kind of drug, but I know what really happened. I didn't tell Oishi-san about it. I don't think he'd believe me even if I told him. Without a doubt, Tomodachi-san died trying to get rid of the Maggots. It was nothing other than the curse of Oyashiro-sama. To never leave Hinamizawa isn't the only rule of Oyashiro-sama. There are more. He might have broken one of them without knowing it. Oishi-san told me. Tomodachi-san was taking pictures with his camera flash on during the sacred ritual dance, and some people might got mad at him for it. Did Oyashiro-sama put his curse on Tomodachi because he violated the sacred ritual dance? It might be for another reason. Anyway, he died from the curse of Oyashiro-sama without a doubt. Or whatever that is. Whatever reaction that causes or whatever. Did that mean Oyashiro-sama put his curse on Mio-san too? Investigating the gods is the same as getting close to the gods. It's disrespecting them. But Mio-san told me that they might get rid of her if they found out about her investigation. By they, she meant humans. Plus, according to her theory, the three families are in a conspiracy to revive the faith of Oyashiro-sama. But I can tell by the way Tomodachi-san died, it was an act of the curse. I'm certain about that because I experienced the curse myself. And at first glance, that seemed to be incompatible with the other conspiracy theories about human beings. Sorry. I remembered Oishi-san told me something about some kind of drug that can make a person commit suicide. So do the three families have a secret drug that can cause the curse of Oyashiro-sama? That could be something. I mean, something like that. That's impossible. Plus, I didn't get any shots of a suspicious thread like that. I mean, you don't know about that, though. You just took a bunch of shots. I had a normal life in Ibaraki. I wasn't involved with the Sonozaki family or the Kimiyoshi family. Oishi-san asked me a favor. He asked me to tell him secretly if I saw or heard anything suspicious. It could be about Mi-chan, Rika-chan, or anybody in the village. Mio-san believed my story about Oyashiro-sama, and now she's gone. Tomodachi-san died by doing the same thing I did. Oh no, 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 no. That's me. That was me. I don't want to get involved with the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Is this conspiracy of a group of fanatical cult members, or is it the curse of Oyashiro-sama? Is everything just a set of coincidences, or maybe it's a mixture of conspiracy and the curse? I don't know! Is it the work of humans, the curse, or a coincidence? Oh no. Even the light of the sunset was making me feel dizzy. When did the sunlight in Hinamizawa get so mean? Mio-san told me to keep her investigation secret. I have her top secret scrapbooks. They might hold the truth about everything. When I realized that, I got all scared all of a sudden. I might end up the same way as Mio-san because I have her scrapbooks. If it's a conspiracy, I'll be erased. If it's the curse, I'll be cursed. I should burn the scrapbooks. That's the safest thing to do. But Mio-san believed my story. Mio-san listened to me without laughing. It'd feel wrong to burn them without even taking a look. If it's a conspiracy, I have to expose it. If it's a curse, I have to break it. I shouldn't run away. I should fight. That's right, I decided to fight to seize my happiness. I shouldn't give in to misfortunes. I have to fight. I'm going to get rid of all of the things that are trying to ruin my peaceful life. I'm going to read a scrapbook when I get home. I started walking faster. Chapter end. That was a good chapter. A lot of good information about that scene. I'll definitely need to leave it in the back burner for a bit. So we'll read the hints and we'll probably peace out. Because it's a bit of a longer episode. Lunch data, so we're not seeing the diary, huh? Taking its sweet time. icky things. Nah, we gotta name those blood maggots or something spooky like that. So it's a good, I mean, that's a good title. What are we getting for lunch? Whoa, hospital. Attention or attendance. Kuroda Mental Clinic. Hello. To get straight to the point, we can assume that this is an acute case of post-traumatic stress disorder. The patient is subject to tremendous stress because of her parents' sudden divorce and being forced to choose to live with either her mom or her father. Furthermore, the patient firmly believes that she was responsible for her parents' divorce, which furthers the drive to self-mutilation. The patient's largest shock stems from a sense of betrayal of her own household, which she believed was an absolute safe haven. Henceforth, there's a high possibility that the patient will resort to psychological defense measures to protect her family. For example, she might feel high disdain for any person of the opposite sex who approaches her father. She might feel uncomfortable about having other people in her home. She may also display eccentric behavior in order to keep people away from it. As an example of the latter, there are reported cases of patients unconsciously bringing home garbage. It's highly important that the patient remains in the close communication with her father. By deepening the communication between the two of them, it'll strengthen their family bond and loosen up her anxiety. Since the patient only shows signs of acute syndrome in this case, there's a very good chance that she'll recover within 3 months with her father's support and proper medication. However, it's common for a patient who seems to have recovered to have a sudden reoccurrence, even after 10 years. Her father is still fairly young, and there's still a chance he could remarry. However, seeing an unfamiliar member of the opposite sex through remarriage could trigger a flashback in the patient, which may lead to avoidance behavior or hyperawareness. Please explain this part thoroughly to the father in order for him to understand the recovery process. Well, to be fair, he stayed like that for a while, for a long time before he met Rena. Should the father decide to remarry, it's recommended that she should hold off in telling the patient until she reaches the age where she's capable of living independently. So it's pretty good on the rules. Also, the cause of the patient's psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, delusions, parasitosis, seems to be its own culture-bound syndrome. The patient blindly believes that the leaving her home village will cause a curse and that this curse was the cause of her parents' divorce. We believe this is a subconscious defensive mechanism to reduce her mental trauma by shifting the blame from herself to the village's curse. According to the patient's statement, the culture of her home village is extremely strict and exclusive. The patient believes that there's no way to be safe from the curse other than by going back to the village, as the curse will continue as long as she lives in her current environment. Through this, we can see an inclination of schizophrenia and believe the chances are high that the patient will continue to alter their perceived reality. Schizophrenia, yeah, we know what that is. Her delusions about maggots dwelling in her blood is a perfect example, and is also caused by her psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior. When a delusion involves psychosomatic self-mutilating behavior, it's extremely dangerous. I highly recommend the father to move back to the village if he's financially capable. Allowing her to live with the relatives of the village might also work. If such a strong belief can induce symptoms such as self-mutilation, then there might be other similar cases to this one. Perhaps prior medical files that document similar culture-bound syndromes may be available at large medical institutions in the local area. It'll be possible to provide better and more accurate mental care for the patient by obtaining these case files. The B5 size letter was with a bunch of memos. The following was on the back side of the letter. 1 chutadon, 3 Shanghai style gomoku yakisoba, 1 fried rice. Okay, very professional, guys. That's interesting. I was gonna say, the only problem with this is multiple people had this blood maggot things, but they're saying it could happen more because of the people living in there. But my problem is Keiichi's only been living there a short amount of time. I find it really weird that he would experience this thing that feels like it needs some build up, but he did go through a lot of traumatic stuff. And then Tomotachi's kind of a wild card, so is and it made sense to Shion. I don't know, it's a good example, but we're gonna end it here. It's getting late, really pushing it, but I'm glad it was a good session. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Got some good info, pretty good hint at the end, and hopefully you enjoyed it too. So if you enjoyed this, I don't know, sub if you haven't. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll come back for some more. But yeah, have a great night / day, whatever, and see you next time. Bye.